This week in Speedway, we learned the answer to the ages-old question that I've just made up. When is a rule not a rule? The answer, when the ref makes a mistake. Just ask Somerset after Redcar and the ref got the rider replacement rule wrong. Somerset paid the £50 required to lodge a protest with the SCB. The SCB agreed that a mistake had been made, but refused to change the result, and then, to add insult to injury, kept the £50. Also this week, Birmingham keep their 100% record, but my life didn't we make hard work of it. But credit to the lads, they never gave up, and that's another win closer to the title. One match at a time, guys, one match at a time. And the other question we find the answer to today is, what is Speedway Cody? Only in Speedway. Well, that was what happened there. Goodness me. Well, welcome to the Speedway Tavern. We have in the studio tonight our friend Chris Webby Brown. Welcome back.
Good evening.
Chris Webby, I have more holidays than teachers. Brown, we should start calling him. And we've got Joseph.
Hi.
That's very cool. Very cool. Joseph's going to be looking after the shout box tonight, so if you have anything to say, shove it on the shout box, and if we don't discuss it, you can all blame Joseph. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Here we have Matt Buck. Are you there, Matt?
Hang on. Are you there, Matt?
I'm here, yes.
So, okay, and if you can hear Matt, and if we can get your voice up on the thing, did you sort of hear about this thing with Somerset and the rider replacement rule?
I haven't seen anything today.
I'll sort of run you through it. They had a guest booked, Matty Cuz, and they got his average wrong. Because they got his average wrong, they felt they were entitled to use him for one of the rider replacement rides, which of course they weren't. And so Somerset, I think not unreasonably, felt that that ride that he was in, those points should be expunged from the result, which would have actually given them the win instead of Redcar. The SCB agreed that yes, that a mistake had been made, and the referee agreed that a mistake had been made and that it was his mistake, but they didn't expunge the points and kept the £50 for lodging the protest, even though actually, in a way, they'd said that they was right to protest. What do you make of that?
Unbelievable.
I think, as you say, only in Speedway.
I think yeah, absolutely incredible. It's either a rule or it's not. Wow, it took my breath away when I read that. So yeah, and the other thing, of course, have we got? Is Matt working now?
He's working now, yeah.
Fantastic, great.
Unfortunately, we can also see him as well.
Oh,
I don't think he knows. Oh, he's just switched the camera off then as he was picking his nose.
Okay, so I have to ask Matt a question. Why are you having our rider off us when we need him and you don't? And he scored 4 points for you. He'd have scored a maximum for us. Talking about Josh Bates, of course. Can you still hear us, Matt?
I just lost you for a minute.
Okay.
I'll back now.
I was just complaining that you was nicking our rider for the night on Wednesday. We could have done with him, but it made no difference to you whatsoever. 56-37. You can't be very happy with that result.
Well, no, we did better. We nearly scored 40, which is quite good for us at the moment.
Right.
But no, I think really, probably about similar scoreline to what I expected. Kingsland were under strength, obviously. Robert Lambert, we got quite close at one point, but once again for the third or fourth match running, we just fell away in the final few races, and again another tough night.
And I notice PK didn't exactly set the place alight.
Well, to be fair to Peter, I mean, he's come into the team, and the initial intention was for him to be a second string, not a number one.
Mm.
And I think it just shows the problems that we've got, where we've been put in a position where we've got to put Peter as the number one rider. His form this season has probably been as bad, if not worse, than it was for Lakeside last season.
Sure.
Yeah, it's disappointing. It's, you know, as someone who's obviously grown up watching PK riding for Wolves over 25 years, it's not very nice seeing Peter Garson struggle when I think of the rider that he once was not that many years ago.
Do you think he's had his day?
Well, I don't think. Well, I mean, I think I said at the time I wouldn't have had him back this season. He didn't exactly do a lot when he came back to the club midway through last season. And I think reading between the lines were some of the things that were said by the management at the end of last season. He wasn't initially in the club's plans, but circumstances with obviously Ty not coming back and Pavlichkin not coming back either sort of manoeuvred them back into using Peter really. And he started the season off really well, but now that the Swedish league started and he's riding more and more meetings and doing a lot more travelling, it seems to be taking its toll even at this stage of the season.
Yeah,
but I'd hope that he doesn't carry on far too long and sully the memory of the fantastic rider that he once was.
Do you get a sense that, because I know there's been talk of rider changes and so on, but nothing's happened? Do you get a sense that something is going to happen, or are they just going to go with what they got? What do you think?
Well, I don't really have that lot out there, to be honest. There was some sort of speculation a couple of weeks ago that they were going to make a move for Darcy Ward before Swindon got in. I don't really think that was ever on the cards, to be honest.
I think we might have started that rumour.
It's difficult to see what they can do, to be honest. I mean, being a Monday night track probably isn't helpful either, with it being stuck right in the middle of Poland on Sunday and then Sweden on Tuesday. So I think there will be a change at some points, but really, even at this stage, you have to say it's too late for the salvage the season, just to try and get a little bit of pride back and get a good run going towards the end of the season, to try and build up a bit of optimism for 2016.
Well, talking about that, I think we've got some comments on the shout box, haven't we, Joseph?
Yeah, special one says Wolves need to find at least one new heat leader for 2016.
Do you think that's where we're at now, Matt, looking at next year rather than worrying about this year?
To be honest, I was probably looking at last season next season, probably around about April, to be honest. There needs to be a change. There needs to be a lot of changes, I think, in this setup at Wolves now. Too many riders, I think, have been there maybe a little bit too long, not going to improve. Freddie Lindgren's been a big disappointment since he came back to the club. And I wonder now, I know he's got a fantastic record, but I do wonder now whether maybe it's time to start looking towards replacing Peter Adams as well.
But who do you replace him with? That's a difficult one, isn't it? But yeah.
Well, there's quite a few clubs in recent seasons that have gone out and got sort of younger team managers. We've seen Alan Rossiter's gone in at Swindon, done a great job there. You've seen Gary Havelock doing a great job at Coventry. So
Phil Morris,
there are people out there. You've got to go, but it's just a case of you've got to go and find them.
Yeah, and Phil Morris, of course, is another one that you could add to that when he came to Birmingham.
That's true. Yes. So.
Well, okay. Well, I want to stop being depressed now, so I'm gonna
go on, then. See you.
You do look a bit down in the dumps, Matt. Is that just because of your appointment you just had? Or?
Oh, I'm all right.
You have to tell me about this afterwards. Okay, so let's move on to last night's match. I don't suppose you was there, was you, Matt?
I was there, yes.
You was there. I didn't. Okay, so
I didn't go. No, I didn't go to King's Lynn.
Yeah.
They don't come and see me when I'm bad. So.
No. Yeah, I mean, we knew it was going to be a tough match, given the ride replacement situation. But wow, we did not make a meal of it, didn't we?
I thought Birmingham threw a lot of points away in the early stages of the meeting. It was, how many meetings this season are Birmingham going to have where Adam Ellis has failed to score in his first two rides on his home track?
Yeah.
I know he had a bad night against Cradley on the opening night, but that was really disappointing last night from his perspective. I guess really the makeup of the team has got to be an influence on that as well, with having such a strong top end. Obviously weakened with Tom Perry not being available. But the most important thing for the Brummies was that to get through and to get the win.
Yeah.
And they did manage to do that.
Well, they showed great heart, didn't they? I mean, they didn't...
Yeah, they did. They did show a lot of heart, and, whether they underestimated Kent, I don't know, to be honest. I mean, I did speak to quite a few people before the match, and they thought that Kent might push the Brummies close. I don't think they expected them to push them that close, but it was a...
I think the thing...
they did.
The thing with Kent is they're built very similar to our team, aren't they? They've got a very strong top end and a weakish bottom end, which makes us using out the ride replacement rule perhaps even worse for us.
I think this is it, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously they got a good number one in Ben Morley. Obviously, probably like everybody else, was quite surprised when he wasn't named in the nominated riders race.
Oh God, we were going, oh, we've won this now. As soon as we heard that Ben Morley was, apparently he was having machinery problems, from what I've been hearing. So yeah. Wasn't the greatest of meetings racing wise, was it?
I thought there was some good racing. The issue for me really was the fact that there were so many delays, which never really aids the continuity of a meeting when you've got delays, when there's rider replacements and riders falling off and races being stopped and things like that. It's sort of, it's difficult to sort of get into the meeting when you've got to stand around for ages waiting for something to happen.
Yeah.
But I thought the racing was okay. I don't think it was as good a meeting as the Mildenhall meeting, but
no.
I thought there was some...
Tension-wise, it was... there was a lot of tension in that meeting.
Yeah, there were quite a lot of Kent fans on Artist last night.
There was, wasn't there? Yeah.
It's a long journey on a Wednesday night.
Yeah. Considering they're sort of second to the bottom of the league, I think, something like that.
Well, I was inside, and there were plenty of Kent fans in there. One or two of them did have Black Country accents, so I suspect they were Craddock fans, to be honest.
They must have been hoping. 14 points clear on at the top now, still undefeated. I just have to wonder how many more matches we have to go before we start actually looking at the end goal.
I think the important thing for the Brummies is just to keep going.
Yeah.
Win as many matches as you can, because you never know what's around the corner.
Oh,
I mean,
absolutely.
I know that from personal experience, from many years ago. So
I don't think there's a Brummie fan out there that's not sort of waiting for the wheels to come off, because it's happened to us before.
That's right.
But yeah, we got some comments on the shout box there, Joseph.
Yeah, Special One says, was Ellis using new equipment last night? I don't recall him having green stripes on his helmet or bike before. And Brummie Time Lord says, Sam Chapman is getting better each meeting.
As far as Ellis's equipment is concerned, I have no idea. Maybe somebody else out there. I didn't notice it being different. I don't. It did seem to. It seemed to be quite powerful. He was getting a lot. He was getting a lot of lift from at the gate, which is what caused the first heat accident. And again, coming out of bend 2, he lifted. He did seem to be having trouble keeping the front end down, sort of thing. As for Sam, noticeable improvement. I mean, he's put his heart and soul into it. He's been out and hired Scunthorpe for the day to practice, and he's been in Midland Development League matches to get practice. And I think yesterday will have done him the world of good, because he's always been approaching Heat 1 wondering how much his hand is going to hurt, and of course he won his first heat last night. And I think that all of that's going to do him the world of good, and he just looked much more like the rider we saw at the beginning of the season, and probably won us the match, really. What do you reckon, Matt?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it was a good win in his first race, and it's just about getting more time on the bike for Sam Chapman, isn't it?
Yeah, but he lost nearly 3 months.
Maybe a little bit inconsistent during the middle part of the meeting, but that win in Heat 1, certainly in Heat 3, was certainly very, very crucial towards the outcome of the meeting.
Yeah, I think everybody played an important part in that meeting last night. I mean, even Robert Parker, keeping I think it was Ben Basford behind him in Heat Heat 2.
I thought that was a great ride on Robert
Yeah.
Parker in Heat 2, to be honest, because they really did put him under a lot of pressure.
They
It
did
was,
not.
probably wasn't they probably weren't the quickest 3 riders I've ever seen, but they certainly kept him on his toes, and he rode a really good line.
Yeah, and he didn't panic. You know, he was very calm about it. He didn't panic, and he rode within his ability, and just, as you say, kept them behind him. It was really good. So, yeah, I mean, there was a lot of riders that, you know, they all, I don't think there was one rider that you could say didn't play their part in that. Even Alex Wilson, you know, scored some important points as well. So I'm looking forward perhaps to when he gets back down to reserve and gets the chance to have that easier ride in Heat 2 and get his confidence going again, because I think Alex Wilson's got the potential of being a decent rider when he gets his confidence a bit further up.
Well, I mean, the number 2 position is always difficult in any team, especially for someone who's very inexperienced. And it's just a case of being unlucky, really, for Alex Wilson, that he's been put in the position through not really any fault of his own.
Well, he's got put in that position basically because Adam Kirby kept falling off. Basically, is where it is. And I think I'm right in saying that. I mean, Adam got scored some important points for us last night, and you know, I've ate humble pie with Adam Kirby before. I don't like the taste of that, so I'm not going to eat any more of it. But he still hasn't gone a whole meeting without falling off for us. I'm looking forward to that one. I think they should give him the bumps when he goes through 4 rides without falling off. Although whether they'll be able to lift him, that's another matter.
I think you said this before and you were corrected. I think you said it on the show before.
He certainly hasn't done it at home.
He certainly hasn't done it at home. Okay, well, have you got the interviews lined up for us?
I haven't. No. What we're going to do is sorry.
Okay.
What we're going to do is we're going to have a song. And
Okay.
while we're doing the song,
You're going to line them up?
I'm lining them up, yeah.
What you're trying to tell us is you've got it wrong again.
no, it's something to do with too many SD slots. So we ain't got enough.
Okay. So we've got some interviews with Sam and with Graham and with Zach Voitinick from last night. So we'll play a little bit of music and then we'll crack on with those.
Just lying here with thoughts of you. What has our life been turned into, my friend, my love? What was I thinking of? I didn't mean to call
Okay, and who was that, by the way?
Angie Jean.
Angie Jean. Okay, sounds really nice. Okay, so we had a short interview with Zach on the way to the shower. We was talking to him about how he felt the team performed given the RR situation and so on. And this is what he said.
So we're with Zach now, and what are your views on the team's performance tonight?
Yeah, it was good. The reserves chipped in well, and they had to do their job at this meeting, and I think they've done their job. So Adam had a rough first 2 weeks, but then he just showed what he's top of the averages. To be honest.
And how the match went on at the beginning, was there at any point that you were doubting that we would win, or were you confident all the way through?
Not really. You just have to stay confident, and that's what everyone had to do. And they did it. So that's why we come out on top, I think.
Okay, thanks for your time.
Okay, so Zach was fairly impressed with the team performance, I think, and shall we just crack on with this? Is a cracking interview that Joseph managed to get with Sam Chapman.
Okay, so we're with Sam now, and you seem to be riding a lot easier today. Is that a sign that your hand is getting better?
Yeah, I took myself away at the weekend, had some stern words on myself, sort of got some track time, spent a bit of time with my dad working on the bikes, and my hand's gradually getting easier. I was a little unsure going into the meeting, because I rode a really slick track at the weekend, and it was easy on my hand, didn't get too many problems. So I was a little bit indecisive on whether it was going to hurt or what was going to happen in the first heat, but we pulled through, and it's certainly a lot better than it was 2 weeks ago.
And what are your views on the team's performance tonight?
We had some weak points, we had some strong points. Obviously, bad luck was with us, so losing Adam in his first 2 heats was a massive blow, considering we're already out with Tom. We could have done without that one. I think if that hadn't happened, we would have pulled a bit clearer. But on a whole, the boys done awesome. The track's a little different this week to what we've had it, so we kind of had to chase our tails a little bit, change some things on the bikes, and ride some different lines to what we normally do each week. So I think everyone as a whole all pulled through. Robert had a great first ride, that was impressive, and all the boys got the points we needed.
You mentioned having to change your racing lines a bit. Does that mean you dislike the track tonight, or was it not too bad?
No, the track made for okay racing. It's just as I'm sure everyone's seen, some of our boys are good around the outside. Adam, Zach, and some grass track experience put some good. I mean, it doesn't help me because I haven't got that grass track background, but them boys sort of they come really strong when the track's grippy, and they seem to get out front and pull massive gaps over everyone. But they didn't get that luxury today with it being a bit slicker. So there was no bad points. It was just a bit different. So we had to change some things we were doing.
Yeah, one thing you got to say about this team is it never gives up. Just doesn't. I mean, your heads could have gone down after the bad luck, and we were 6 points behind at one point, I think?
Yeah, I don't know how many points it was, because I've got this thing where I won't let no one talk to me about points, because I put too much pressure on myself as it is without starting thinking of how many points we need. I need to do this, I need to do that. I put it all on my own shoulders. So I'm unaware of what points we sort of dropped mid-meeting, but obviously seeing Adam drop out 2 races and seeing some people get wiped out and excluded, I thought, this is not going our way, and I kind of knew that we probably were at a deficit at that point. But we got together. We actually got together in the first aid room because Adam Kirby was being treated at the time. So we all crammed in there and had a bit of a chat and decided what we needed to do to pull through. And everyone kept strong heads and we got gating at the end, which I don't think perhaps we were doing early on. And as a team, the guys we were racing, Kent, they're used to slick starts, slick tracks, which is kind of what we had a little bit tonight. So perhaps they were at an advantage from the word go, and we had to catch up. So, but we done it. Everyone was strong, and like you say, everyone's got strong heads. No one gave up, which is awesome. Especially some of the boys that haven't been scoring, including myself. We kept strong and got the points on the table.
And next up is Coventry. I would imagine after the fours you're looking to have a bit better because your first match back, of course, with Jan, and I imagine you're looking to improve on that.
Yeah, of course I am. Obviously, I like the track there. I've only ridden there once previous to the fours. Obviously, I struggled at the fours, but I've got to put that down to physical fitness. So hopefully now I'm coming strong, and I can do myself justice there, score some points, and the team can pull through. Hopefully it'll be good. I mean, obviously with the last heat decider at the fours, everyone's expecting it to be a close meeting, which I'm sure it will be. I noticed they're out with Luke Krang at the moment. I'm not sure if they're going to find a replacement before then, or if they'll be operating RR for Luke. Obviously we're still operating RR for Tom then, which is a bit of a blow because he's a strong contender in our team. But hopefully we can do the same as we did tonight, chip in, get the vital points we need. Perhaps at Coventry we're not going to go out there and score massive 5-1s like we want to, but if we can go there and match them and take the odd point off them, then that will be awesome.
Fantastic, thank you, Sam.
Thanks for your time.
Yeah, well, there was Sam. I think it's safe to say that he was much more positive than he has been in recent weeks. I thought it was very interesting, actually. The fact that I've got to say a big sort of thank you to Joseph over here, who asks questions. Joseph's only 14 years old, and he asks questions that, as an adult, you would sort of circumvent a little bit and find another way of asking. He just comes straight out and say, "Well, does that mean that you didn't like the track then?"
If you can get away with it.
I just thought that was brilliant. I mean, it's a good question.
Excellent question.
So, yeah, I mean, actually talking about the track, it was quite slick last night. Do you think, Matt?
It was a bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And
conditions obviously didn't help. But
yeah, I think that didn't help the result really, because I mean, obviously Kent are quite used to a slicker track anyway, and it was quite noticeable that Zach couldn't catch. Was it James Shane? I can't remember now. In that one race that he was second, then he couldn't. He was trying all the lines, but it wasn't.
Well, he couldn't lay a glove on him, could he? Really?
No.
There wasn't much overtaking last night, if I'm honest.
There was some close racing, but yeah, there wasn't a great deal of overtaking. And I think that I'm wondering whether that was a purpose thing to help some of the less experienced riders stop on. It didn't help, but so I don't know. And obviously, of course, we hadn't got Tom Perry there last night, and if he'd been there, he would have been out in the dirt if there had been any, and so on. So I'm wondering whether there was some of that going on last night. But
what was the crowd like last night?
It was a decent crowd, wasn't it?
Decent crowd, yeah.
Yeah, it was a decent crowd. I was quite pleased. And actually, we need to say this, don't we? We should have marked this at the beginning of the show. Really, 2 days ago marked the demise of Birmingham Speedway last year.
Really, was it that?
Yeah, and wow, what a difference a year makes. We all, we thought
From
that
not in the league to top of the league.
we thought we'd lost the Brummies for good, a lot of us. So, thank you, Tony Mole. That's all I can say.
What a difference a year makes.
Before we go on to, sorry, go on, Matt. Sorry.
You just think, top of the league for Birmingham at the moment, and when you think back to what the mood would have been like on the way back from Bellevue that night, then it's totally different, isn't it? So,
yeah, I mean, well, I did make that journey back from Bellevue that night. I was at that match. And, I'm not ashamed to say that there were tears. It was horrible, but the phoenix, it rises, as they say. Before we go on to Graham Drury's interview, which I thought, again, was quite an interesting interview, we were watching a few matches, and we got Sheffield versus Glasgow. And
that's matches as well. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's 19-17 in favour of Sheffield at the moment. Obviously, that's the second leg of the Knockout Cup, and it's 56-68 over the 2 legs at the moment to Glasgow. So that's an interesting meeting. It's going on. And Ipswich versus Edinburgh.
Another 3 at the moment.
Yeah, 25-23. Danny King's been beaten. Nico's been beaten as well. He's got 5 from 2, so that could go all sorts of ways, that one could. So we'll keep our eye on those matches. Okay, so we had a chat with Graham and asked him about how he felt the team performed, and this is what he had to say.
So we're with Graham now, and what are your views on the performance of the team tonight?
Well, overall, the way that I see it is this: when we had all the adversity that we had tonight, with engine failures, falling off, your number one rider falling off, all that adversity, and still to come round and win a match, I think that shows a lot of character for the team. And if we can show that commitment, character, and will to win, I think we're sure we'll be successful this year.
And were there any points you were worried that we might have started to lose that winning streak?
From heat 1 right through to heat 15. The match was never won tonight because when the riders were going out, things were happening. But it's as a team manager, it's very, very nice to have a Zach and an Adam Ellis ready to go out in heat 15. That relieves the I just saw there were certain races we had a job to do, and I was saying to the riders, look, don't finish last, just get a 3-3, 3-3, because 2 of the last 3 heats we had Zach and Adam in it, and I was confident that them 2 could do the job for us. I don't really single them out. I think everybody contributed at some stage. Even Robert Parker, heat 2 getting 5-1. The kid did his job.
I was just said to Sam actually that the good thing about this team, it seems to be, they just don't give up.
No, we don't. I mean, after heat 8, I did get all the riders in a corner, buggered off everybody else and just got the riders and ripped into them a bit. And I wasn't saying he wasn't trying, I was just saying that in any professional sport, particularly Speedway, you can't feel sorry for yourself. You've got to do it, you've got to go, you've got to give 100%. And the riders did that and we turned it round.
And bring on Coventry, I suppose, is the next
thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Graham, he always gives a good interview. He's always honest. I loved his answer. To any point was that you was getting worried, and he said, "Yeah, heat 1." I think we were all in the same boat on that one. All in the same boat in that one. So, okay, before we go and have a chat about tomorrow's match at Coventry. Oh, we've got. Would you like to show us our new? There you go. When Joseph does that, it means he's got something off on the shout box. What's going on?
Stan's saying Coventry's posting Charlie Powell riding at reserve with Robert Parker at number 8. Any confirmation?
Haven't heard anything, but I'll see what I can find out in the next 20 minutes that we've got. With Robert Parker at number 8, was that?
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds good. Well, I'd like that. I think we've got one more match with him before he gains an average, so I think that's probably all we'll have with Charlie Powell. But the Coventry match is probably the one to use him for, isn't it? We need all the firepower we can get on that. So I'll be happy about that. We'll have a chat about the Coventry match in a minute, and I'll see what I can find out, as I say, in the next 20 minutes as to sort of confirm that. In the meantime, I'd like to talk about Speedway Cody.
What's Speedway Cody? Hang on, what's Speedway Cody?
Can you even say it? No. Well, Speedway Cody is a new initiative by one of our friends, Andy, who's going to be popping up next week to talk all about it. But basically, it's a way of getting your Speedway fix. Mm-hmm. You can get all the things that you can get on YouTube and other sources are there. There are full matches. There's matches from days gone by, days 2015, Polish matches, Swedish matches. There's even a section dedicated to sort of fights and other sort of things, which is quite interesting how many times Nicky Pedersen comes up in that, by the way. It's really good. I've got it on my Android box at home, and I'm enjoying it. In fact, I was watching it before we came out.
So explain, what is it? Is it actually a box? Is it an app?
Okay,
program?
It's an app that you can use on computers, on Android boxes, which is probably the best way to watch it. On laptops, if you've got a powerful enough smartphone and things like that. It uses a thing called XBMC, which I'm not going to go into.
No.
But I mean, Andy's going to be on the show next week, and he's going to be talking to us all about it. He comes from Paul. Please don't hold that against him. I've spoken. He's a nice guy. I think he's actually on the chat on the shout box at the moment. So if he wants to say hi, that would be cool. And yeah, we'll talk all about that next week. But even more importantly, the guys from Speedway Cody have sorted out a prize for us next week, and we're going to have a competition. Now, this prize is worth £100. And in fact, it's going to be it's an Android box. We will put the details of this device on the website, on various forums, on the Facebook. We'll get it out there. Yeah. We're hoping to have a picture of it soon, and we'll shove that out as well. And Andy will be on next week. He will chat about it and.
So what we're going to do is we're going to devise some sort of quiz.
We're going to have a quiz,
a question type thing where they can, and they've got to text the answers.
It'll be a Speedway related thing, yep. And given that it's Speedway Cody, I'm going to get my questions from all the clips and so on that are on Speedway Cody, so that the questions will give you an idea of what's actually out there, what's on there. Now then, we have a problem, don't we?
Well, I wasn't going to talk about that. Oh, that one. Sorry.
You really shouldn't talk about Matt like that.
He's still there. Damn.
So anyway, the problem is the shout box. So we're going to be giving questions out. What we don't want is people putting the answers on the shout box.
Right.
Joseph's going to be trigger finger to delete things as they come up.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't want to give the game away. And so we're asking people to text in the answers, which we'll give the text phone number at the beginning of next week's show, and put that on the shout box. Please.
It won't be counted if it's in the shout box anyway, so there's no point in.
Yeah, exactly. So, we're gonna have probably about 10 questions that we'll do through the show, and lucky winner will get this fantastic prize, for which we thank all the guys at Speedway Cody for. And
are we allowed to enter ourselves?
Afraid not. Mainly because we're coming up with the questions, so it would be.
That's true. Yeah. I can pretend I don't know them.
So there you go.
To make it look real.
Yeah. No, for it to look real with Chris doing it, you'd have to get them all wrong. Let's be honest about it. So we're really, really excited about this, and we hope. In fact, we know that a load of you will come on and take part, and it really is a fantastic piece of kit. As I say, there'll be more information about it appearing on the various websites during the week. And
so if you're a Speedway freak, this is for you.
Yeah, and the guys from absolutely, it's brilliant. It's going to be great for the close season.
Yeah,
absolutely. And the guys from Speedway Cody will explain what it is, what it isn't, what they're trying to achieve with it, and we're looking forward to that next week. When hopefully we'll also be talking about the Coventry match and maybe have a few interviews from that as well. So all good.
And Speedway Cody is online, and he's just said thanks for the plug.
Not a problem. Thanks for the box.
No problem.
And also, if you want to know a little bit more, they've got a Facebook page. If you go to, they've got a Twitter page. They've probably got a Facebook page as well. But I've got their Twitter page up at the moment. And if you just go to Twitter and type in Speedway Cody, all one word. Cody spelled Kodi, by the way. If you do that, in fact, what I will do is put that up on the shout box as well. Except I can't do that because I haven't got a shout box.
About to do that.
That would be great. Thank you, Joseph. He's on the ball. So we'll put a link on the shout box. No, we might have to pay him.
Oh, that's true.
You don't pay me, so
no, I don't even pay me.
No. So okay, before we talk about Coventry with the results going on, it's still 25-23 Ipswich Edinburgh, Sheffield versus Glasgow. It's still 21-21. Great headline on Sheffield versus Glasgow when I turned on Speedway updates, by the way. Match delayed due to no ambulance. That was... the ambulance hadn't turned up.
Oh, right.
So,
I was beaten to it.
Somebody else put it up for me. Okay.
Oh, well, so it's probably Speedway Cody.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Man knows his stuff. Okay, so Coventry. Thoughts, Matt?
I think this is probably going to be a big test. I think if they come out of this meeting still unbeaten, I think they'll have done really, really well. I think Coventry possibly could still muscle in terms of the title race.
Yeah,
so I think that it's going to be a very, very difficult meeting for the Brummies, especially not being totally at full strength.
I understand that Coventry have lost Luke Krang as well, so that's. But he's their number one, isn't he? So they're basically going to be able to get a guest for him. So it's not necessarily going to weaken them, unfortunately, from our point of view. Anyway, yeah. I mean, I'm looking down their line, and they're quite strong all the way through, really, aren't they?
Yeah, they're going to be strong at home. So
sorry.
They're going to be strong at home.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
Well, saying that, I think it's their first home meeting, isn't it?
I think it is actually. Yeah.
I think it's their.
It's strange that they've had. We're into July and they've had no home meetings yet. So
maybe our riders might have ridden it more than their riders.
Yeah. Well, it's worth remembering as well. The Brummies have already been there and taken some silverware, so that might be maybe a psychological advantage for the Brummies.
Yeah, and I know Sam's looking to improve on his performance in the fours because he didn't trouble the scorers over much, and he feels quite confident that he can do. I think two things about this match. I don't in my heart of hearts I don't think we can win. I think we'll do really well to get a point. If we get a point, I think that will be absolutely massive. And I also think that Coventry losing at Kent was also a massive result for us, given that we won at Kent. Oh, hello, yes?
The special one said, would help if Coventry can prepare a speedway track instead of a plough field.
Would you like to comment on that, Matt?
Yeah, they've had a lot of problems, haven't they, recently with the track at Brandon.
Do you think some of that is down to the fact that they ain't going to be there much longer?
I don't know, to be honest. I don't know whether it's completely down to that. It might have a bearing. They've obviously had a few changes on the track staff over the last 18 months or so. But no, I don't think it's totally down to that. I think it's mainly just they're just not able to get the track right. I mean, Coventry's always had a reputation for not being that great a track in terms of racing. But it was always one thing about it, especially going back to the Ochiltree years, was it was always very, very well prepared. But it's just a shame, really, that I mean, whatever you think about Coventry as a club, it is one of the greater readers for watching Speedway. So
well, it is, and it's going to be a shame if they can't. I mean, I've heard nothing. I don't know whether you have, but I've heard nothing about new stadiums and so on.
Well, you've got to remember as well that I don't believe that the company that want to build houses on here have actually got planning permission yet. So
right,
I mean, they're due to finish there at the end of next season. But if they don't get planning permission, they may well get a stay of execution and be able to carry on there until such time. I think it will be bought and built on eventually, but it's just a case of when and whether Coventry can find anywhere first.
Yeah, well, as Cradley are finding out, it's not, and as I mean, how 30 odd years that we were away from the sport, whatever it was, it's not easy, is it? It's not.
No, it's not easy. But I mean, Coventry, obviously, has always been a very, very well supported club. They've always had a big fan base. They've probably got the biggest fan base in the Midlands, other than probably Cradley. And in recent years they have been one of the more successful clubs as well. So there's a lot from it on that side for Coventry, which they can sort of tap into and get themselves fought a good case to get somewhere else without any problems. But I think obviously the Coventry fans won't be assured until they've actually got some concrete news as to, yes, we're moving and we know where we're going to and we know when.
Yeah, and I don't quite believe I'm going to say what I'm about to say, but I really feel for the Coventry fans at the moment. I mean, state of limbo that they're in.
Sorry, can you just repeat that?
No, I can't.
I'm
I said it
Go on,
once,
say it.
but I'm not saying it again. Oh, more on the shout box, yeah.
Stan says Birmingham need to wrap up the league before Eastbourne meetings in August, September. And looking at their meetings, Eagles could pile up the points.
I think Coventry and Eastbourne are the main thing. I think we've got the beating at Eastbourne at home. I really do. I don't. As long as we haven't got the injuries problems and and we get a full team and all the rest of the normal Speedway stuff, I think we've got the beating of Eastbourne. Because I think our top guys are better than their top guys. Simple as that, really. For me, if we get a point, as I say, if we get a point at Coventry, it will be massive. I think we can get a point at Coventry. I think the wind's got to be in the right direction for it to happen. I think some of the bad luck that we had on Wednesday has sort of got to turn into good luck on Friday for that to happen. But I think we can, and this team has surprised me time and time again. So
if we think the bubble's going to burst, it could be...
I don't think... Well, if we lose...
Yeah.
I don't think that, you lose matches in Speedway. It'll be the first match we've lost. Let's put it into perspective.
It seems that people are waiting for the bubble to burst.
Oh, well, isn't that a Brummie thing?
Yeah.
Isn't that
Things can't go too well all the time.
Always waiting for the wheels to fall off.
Exactly.
Always waiting for the wheels to fall off.
Our dour persona.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. As I said earlier, I can't think of one Brummie fan that thinks that this thing is anywhere near one. I can see that we can. I think that we're close to the point where we can start thinking about it a little bit more positive, but we're not quite there yet. And knowing me, I'm probably going to be saying exactly the same thing until we've actually won the damn thing. So,
but even then, saying maybe we'll still lose.
But by the same token, I'd rather be in our position than in Eastbourne's position, or Coventry's position, or Cradley's position.
Well, that's true. The points in the bag. But it's obviously, as I said earlier, I think the key for the Brummies has got to be to keep going until mathematically it's certain. As I say, I've obviously been in that situation with my own club where we've had a big lead and we've ended up losing the league on the last night. Yeah. I think we were 18 points clear and finished second after the last meeting. So.
And things can change because I remember the 2010 season where we started off like an absolute house on fire. Nobody anywhere could touch us. I remember Newcastle coming to us and us tonking them. We got 60 points. Who won the league? Newcastle. Yeah. Who won the Knockout Cup? Newcastle. I was sick of the sight of Newcastle by the end of that season. That's for sure. Hello.
Speedway Cody says, how does the crowd attendance compare this year to before the closure in the Elite League?
I spoke to Graham about this actually, and I know that Graham and Tony Mole are really happy with the attendance this year. And I've seen quotes where Tony has said, not Tony, Graham has said that these have been the best attendances we've had. What's your take on it, Matt? Because you're sort of out there in the crowd, so...
I think some meetings are attended more than others. Certainly the Cradley meeting was well attended. The Coventry meeting was quite well attended. I thought last night was quite well attended as well. I would say probably they're on a par, but with the Elite League crowds at the moment. But with the fact that it's a league that's not as expensive to run, if that makes any sense, as the Elite League, it's more sustainable at the moment. I do think the crowds would need to be. There would still need to be an increase in the crowds if the club were to go into the Elite League again, or even into the Premier League. I
think you're probably right, but I think there's signs of reasons to be positive.
I feel as well that there's such a good atmosphere around the club at the moment, and as well as the Brummies did in 2013, and obviously we all know what happened in 2014. You always got the feeling that something wasn't right.
There was stuff rumbling on, wasn't there? Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yourself from being in the pits, it wasn't exactly. It wasn't always the most pleasant of places to be. Whereas this season, it's been totally it's like a breath of fresh air.
It is, really. Yeah, it has been great.
I think the thing with the Brummies as well is that the most important thing for me is that they've got such a good, strong team spirit, and I think that is going to be really, really key to their chances of winning the league. We saw it last night.
Exactly right. Yeah, exactly right.
Got them through.
Yeah. I mean, because, any other team, their heads could have gone down last night after the bad luck. And, but I also think Graham Drury's played a blinder this year, and he played last night perfectly. He picked his moment to get them in, and as you heard in his interview, he said, look, there's no point in getting your heads down. Stuff happens, that's sport. You just got to get on with it, brush yourself off, basically, and just get on with it and do the business. And that's what happened, of course. So I think... I've always had a high respect for Graham Drury, but I think he's gone up in my estimation this year.
I think in the National League, I think Graham Drury is the perfect man for that job, because he's been there before. He's got a lot of experience as a National League promoter and manager, and I think that probably some of the rods in the National League sort of take more notice of him and sort of look up to him more than maybe some of the rods did in the Elite League years. Certainly not all of them, but one or two of them maybe.
Yeah, I think you'd agree. We got anything on the shout box there, Joseph? Oh, that must be yes.
Dan said, whatever happens this season, the team should stick with the National League for 2016.
Well, that's quite... hello, wait, hey, woo, woo. Yeah, sorry there. I've got to disagree.
Have you?
Yeah, absolutely. For several reasons. I think I want to get back into the Premier League. I think the racing's better. I think if we stay in the National League, we lose Zach Wojtek, and I think it's imperative that we keep our assets and start using them, because Zach Wojtek's not going to be riding in the National League next year. I don't think he'll be allowed to ride in the National League next year. So it just from that one thing. It was interesting, wasn't it, last night? I was watching this rider go round after practice, and I thought, my life, he looks fast. Did you see the guy going round after practice, Matt? I thought,
heard about it.
Yeah, and I thought, wow, my life, he looks really, really fast. It turns out it was Nico Cavati. And he just, can you imagine us in Premier League next year with Nico as our number one and Zach Wojtek in the team as well? It's that feel-good thing again, isn't it?
Is it likely?
I think Birmingham need to be back in the Premier League next season. I think the National League is as good as a novelty. It was the only option for this season, but it's not a long-term option for the National League for Birmingham.
I've got nothing against the National League. I think it's been great. It's been a breath of fresh air in many ways, like you said, because the riders fall off, they get up. They don't mess about quite so much. There was a bit of messing about last night at the gates, and all of that's been really good. But I just think I want something bigger and better. But hey ho. Special one says anyway, Zach would stay National League as if he was number one. I don't think I think, am I not right in saying once they achieve a certain average, that's it? Have I got that right, Matt?
He won't be in the National League.
No. So Cavati and Zach wouldn't be a bad Premier League spine to build from. I think that would be absolutely right. And Nico has sort of said that he'd like to come back. I hope there's no Ipswich fans listening. So yeah, good stuff. Well, I can't believe that we've reached past 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Gosh. So I'm just going to do a quick update with the matches that are going on. It's 25-23 Ipswich versus Edinburgh. That's not really moved on an awful lot. And Sheffield versus Glasgow, it's 33-27 on the night and 70-78 for over the two legs. So that's both matches could go either way. So there you go. Well, it's been absolutely fantastic. I hope and pray that we've got some good news from the Coventry match tomorrow. We'll try and get you some interviews from it if we can. And thanks to Speedway Cody guys, and we're sort of stoked about next week. Looking forward to giving away this Android. Well, I am. I think Webby's going, no, I want to keep it. I don't think so. I don't think we'll be doing that. So yeah, tell all your mates about it. Tell everybody you can about next week, because we'd really love to have our biggest audience yet. Well, that's it really. Have a great one. You can catch us again on podcast by going to. So there you go. There you go. Fantastic. Thanks, Matt. Thanks, Joseph. And thanks, Chris.